What's up, guys? Welcome back to On the Brick. Today I have for you set number 75278, which is D-0 from the Rise of Skywalker. This set is recommended for ages 10 and up, and it comes with 519 pieces and a single minifigure. One of the things I wanted to point out was the Rise of Skywalker banner across the top of the box. I really like the cracked Kylo Ren helmet and how it's all Lego-fied. I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that they're doing that. When it comes to D-0 himself on the box, it's a little weird. I think he personally looks fine, and they're on the planet where they find the Death Star 2 wreckage. It's just a little weird with like the gray clouds in the background mixed with like the wavy grass. I get what they're going for if you've seen the movie. It's just when I think of D-0, this isn't really the scene I think of. If we look at the back of the box and pull it in a little closer, you do see a few of the functions that it comes with, along with the measurements if you want to see if it fits into what you have. And if we lift up the box, you'll even see that it does come with a display pack that we'll look at a little bit later. Now, I got this set for $70 off of Lego.com on the day that it came out, and I guess the question is it worth $70, especially for only 519 pieces? So let's build the set and find out. And about an hour later, here he is, D-0 from the Rise of Skywalker. I will say, this was actually a really fun build. It was fairly easy to put together, with the trickiest part being the tread here, but outside of that, it wasn't too difficult at all. In fact, the treading here uses these two pieces that I've never seen really in a Lego set before. If I take one of these off, you can kind of peek in here and see them. And it's wrapped around the wheel there with these curved pieces right on top, allowing for this look of this tread. Now, I've noticed some people say that this tread should be gray. However, if you look at the images of D-0, it's kind of clear that his tread actually is white, and for the most part, it's just dirty in these scenes. Now, if you want to, you can switch out the curved pieces on top for light gray tiles to give that same illusion, and I think it would work just fine. In fact, my biggest contrivance with the tread is that it's not flush like it is in the real D-0 model. For some reason, the tread itself is bigger than the wheels on the outside. In the movie, it's all the same level. Now, D-0 himself is built directly into this stand here. His wheels don't move. That's actually not one of the functions in here. Now, I did want to talk about this stand, because if you look, it kind of looks like a deserty sand kind of thing. But in the box art, it's this grass plain from that moon that they went to in the Endor system. So let's get a closer look at D-0 here, starting from this side wheel. Well, like I said with the treads, it's already these curved pieces here. There's some detailing, some greebling on the side here. Nothing too extensive, as they really couldn't. I personally would have liked to see a few more tiles, as again, D-0 in the movie is pretty smooth here. He's an older droid with some problems, but he wasn't broken down or anything. If we take D-0 to the other side, you'll see a very similar setup from here, with these gray pieces and whatnot. Of course, obviously they couldn't do the full thing because they had to get this Technic beam in here, which does serve a purpose beyond just aesthetics. If you move this bottom one here, his head tilts back and forth. That's the entire range of that function. But this top one has much more mobility, as you can spin his head right round. It's a pretty basic build here, actually. Again, it is incredibly sturdy, though. This is not going to go anywhere. And it does use some of these same tubes that are actually inside of here for more aesthetics, connecting him straight to the neck here. One thing I personally would have liked to see again is maybe a tile going across here, maybe a 2x2 round plate covering this here. Again, I think with just like how smooth the head is, how smooth the sides are, how smooth the treads are, it stands out a little when you just have all these studs sticking out. Oh, it's a small thing, but I do notice it. I do like the neck here, with how it looks with this all black grating and whatnot. And if we move to the back of the head here, I love how it looks. It looks very robotic, very open. I think it looks really cool. Switching back around to the front of the head, this is actually a tiled piece. This is not a sticker, and neither is the gray on front here. It's a pretty cool piece. This was the same piece used in the newer UCS Millennium Falcon for the cockpit, except of course this isn't clear. This is just a solid white with some black stripes to represent the eyes. But I think it looks really cool. If you take them back out again, you see this full function with the little antenna and everything there. And again, overall, I think it was a really nice set. It looks good. It was a pretty fun build, with the only challenging part being the actual tread itself. It took only about like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to put together. And it's just a really nice display piece. Now, if we take a closer look at like the UCS-style display plaque here, this is one of the funnier ones that I've seen. Its model being a custom droid, affiliation being to the Resistance, its primary associate being BB-8, primary function being a companion, and its height being 0.30 meters. Kind of funny because it just doesn't say much because, well, we don't really know much about D-0, which is why it's interesting that they made him at all. And glad they did. And it does come with a little D-0 minifigure that if you didn't get him in the newer Y-Wing or the newer Millennium Falcon, here's an easy way to get him as well. And here's D-0 compared to the other buildable characters of BB-8, the Porg, and Yoda. One of the first things you'll notice, though, is that unlike the other sets, D-0 is not to scale. If he was, he would probably be about this tall or so. And when you have them all lined up like this, that question of, is this worth $70? It's a little easier to see. BB-8 here was worth $100 when he came out. The Porg was also worth $70, and Yoda in the back was also worth $100. So really, you have to compare, is D-0 worth as much to you as this Porg? And when you put them together, it does kind of seem like it. It's a really nice build. It's got some of the same functionality options. It does look good. But when you compare it to BB-8 and Yoda, and you realize it's 7/10 of the price, then you have to really question it. Because BB-8 is pretty much to scale to the UCS R2-D2. Yoda looks really cool. He looks a lot better than like the old Yoda that they had. And so D-0 here not being to scale, it does allow them to have more detail on him, but it also takes away from that a little bit. And with the 519 pieces, I'm not so certain this set should be $70. I would be much more comfortable if this set was closer to about the $50 or $55 range. So would I recommend this set? Well, if you have the other buildable characters, and I would include the UCS R2-D2 in that, then I would say, yeah. It makes a really fine addition to the collection, and it just looks really nice itself as well. But if you have any doubts about getting this, I would wait until it goes on sale, as they all have inevitably done, and then I'd get it just a little bit cheaper there. At the end of the day, I think the biggest reason this set is $70 is because of these tubes. There are 4 of them in the set, the 2 out here and 2 running through the tread, and of course, the printed tile that makes up D-0's head. Overall, though, I'm actually very happy to have this set, despite it being a little overpriced. Like I've said a lot, this is a great looking set, and it was a really fun build to put together. And I'm really happy to have it as part of my collection of not just my other buildable characters, but just my Star Wars collection and my LEGO collection in general. Now go ahead and tell me your thoughts on this set and any of the other LEGO sets in the comments down below. Did you like the set? Did you not like the set? Is there anything that you would have changed, that you would have wanted to do differently? Just let me know what you think right down below. And if you liked what you saw, remember to hit that like button. Go ahead and hit the bell if you want to see more. And I would really appreciate it if you went ahead and subscribed as well. See you next time.